Welcome everybody to Lesson 6. My name is Daniel Topf and it's my privilege to be teaching a few parts of this course, Transforming Truths. And so I'm starting with Lesson 6, which will be about God's kingdom, an overview and an invitation. And so when we talk about the kingdom of God here in Lesson 6, this is very much a part of Unit 3, which is really about getting to know God as a person. So with Todd as your instructor, you have already learned about the Trinity, which is a unique way of how we as Christians describe who God is. And then you have also learned about the attributes of God. So you have learned who God is. Now, in the lesson on the kingdom, we will be learning about what kind of impact God has on his realm, on the area that he rules, which is really all of God's creation. And so it's a very comprehensive topic, and I think you will see that it has a lot of implications for our lives as it calls us towards a vision for transformation, both for individuals and entire communities. And I'll say more about that in a minute, but first, let me say a few words about myself. So as I said, my name is Daniel, and I'm originally from Germany and came to the US a couple of years ago to pursue my PhD studies at Fuller Theological Seminary. And I'm now about to complete my dissertation in the School of Intercultural Studies. So I'm excited about that. And that is one big piece why missions is important to me, because I'm looking at it from an academic point of view. Then there's another piece that I'm a practitioner in missions, because I'm also a full-time worker for World Team. World Team is a sending agency, and I'm their regional representative for the West Coast. And a big part of my work and my ministry is to help people find their place in missions, to encourage them, to mentor them, to discern together with them if missions is something that God is calling them, maybe short-term or possibly even long-term. And so if that is a topic that interests you as part of this program here, in Transforming Truths as a class, but more generally, if you're part of this BA program, then feel free to reach out to me at any time. I've been talking to a lot of people who had, maybe some just very general questions, or maybe some more specific ones, what could be their next step towards becoming a cross-cultural worker or a missionary in the 21st century. And I would love to talk to you as well. Back to our topic, Lesson 6, the kingdom of God. Why is it so exciting? Why is it so important? Well, one reason it's so exciting and important is because it points us to transformation. And traditionally, we as evangelicals and Pentecostals, I think it's fair to say that there has been quite an emphasis on individual transformation, but the kingdom of God topic invites us to think on a broader scale, to think about the transformation of entire communities and how the rule of God ought to impact all spheres of society. And one way you can discover that for yourself is by diving into the readings that we have for this lesson. And for example, you could start with the Gospels, and with the Gospel of Matthew, where the kingdom of God or the kingdom of heaven is a major theme. And that is also true in one of the scriptures that we've highlighted in Matthew 6, where Jesus famously says that we should first seek the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and then all other things will be added unto us. And so here already in this verse, we see that Jesus is envisioning something very comprehensive with the kingdom of God, that really everything in our lives and everything in society will be impacted by God's kingdom and by God's rule, if only we make it a priority to seek him first. And so that's my invitation for you for this lesson. I hope you'll enjoy it. I want to encourage you to begin with the readings, specifically also to study the concept of the kingdom of God in the Gospels, and then I'll come back with another video to give some more content on the topic of God's kingdom. Thank you so much, and see you then.